So 4 years in the seminary, taking philosophy in Dallas.
Then we transfer to St. Mary's Seminary in Houston.
Okay.
We study master, get the graduate degree in theology. And during those 4 years, we do 1 year of internship being in a parish. So a total of 9 years altogether. If you go after high school, some guys go after they have a degree already.
Okay.
After college, then it's 7 years. 2 years to study philosophy and 4 years to study theology plus a year of internship. We call it pastoral year.
And then where did you... So the 4 years that you were here in St. Mary's Seminary, this is just all seminarians. There's no classes with anyone else, right? I mean, you're secluded pretty much.
Yeah, we live inside a seminary and we go to school in the seminary.
In the seminary, okay.
Some of those classes, the seminary open to lay people to come in. So there's a few here and there come in and study those classes with us. But this time we're just in the seminary, yes.
And so you were a little closer to home then. So
That's
you saw your
right.
family a little more.
That was beautiful. Yeah, I was really looking forward to go back to Houston. One thing about being a diocesan priest, like a religious order priest, for example, the Franciscan, the Dominicans, the Jesuit, they have their community. So they go to serve, but at the end of the day, they go back to their community.
Okay.
Now we are diocesan priests. In the old day, they call it secular priest. Now they call it diocesan. We belong to a diocese.
Okay.
A lot of it comes from the Gospel of John. Jesus said, they don't belong to the world any more than I belong to the world. But I pray you don't take them from the world, but I consecrate them and send them into the world. So the diocesan priests or secular priests are the ones that live in the secular world, live with the people. So that we are here with the people, for the people. And that's our life of service. That's why when I first came out here, I remember the cardinal tell me, as soon as you can build your house, you're living on the property, because when there's a priest there, it means that he's there for the people, with the people. That's what diocesan priests do. So our community is our people here. And then we foster our own friendship with our family and friends that, in every life, you need meaningful relationship to sustain and support you to live that vocation well. Yeah.
Did you ever consider joining an order?
Actually, I have. Even to this day, sometimes I give some thought to it.
Really? What order, if ever?
I have a fascination for missionary work. That's why I love. It is my dream that one day, when we establish, I did this when I first came here. I love to take a group to go and, let's say, to Vietnam or to a country in Latin America and do missionary work for a week or 2 weeks. I just love being and serving the poor, especially in missionary land, a new language. I did that a lot as a seminarian and even as a priest. Now, I don't get to do it as much since I become pastor here because, but I love doing that. I am fascinated with the saints going and live with the poorest of the poor, and you celebrate Mass with them. You're there for them, and I feel very called. I love doing that. But at the same time, I love being a pastor. I love being a parish priest.
So you're still kind of torn as well, huh?
But like life, how did they say it? Is here on earth, life is an unfinished symphony. The day when we go to see the Lord and we have the whole package here, you have to choose and commit to a vocation. It means you won't have other things. So you celebrate what you have, and the other things, then you accept it, you embrace it. So I embrace the fact that I love missionary work, but because I love being a diocesan priest, I have to accept that I don't get to do those things all the time. But when time permit, and then I would go. I used to go on medical mission to Vietnam, and I love it.
Really?
Going to these poor villages with a group of medical doctors. And
when was the last time you went?
Gosh, it's a long time. It was when I was vocation director. Time was a lot more organized.
Because during the summer, you have a little more free time.
Yeah. Now my life is a mess.
So you said during your seminary time, you were able to do certain things. Was that during the summer as well?
Yeah, a lot of summertime. I was part of the mission group, so we would take like a 2 weeks mission to Mexico and to different countries. I love that.
What was that like, going to those places?
It's just beautiful. I remember that time a group of us went, and these places up in the remote mountain, they don't have mass. The priests rotate to these places, so they have mass maybe once a month.
Okay.
Uh, so we get to go on that trip, and I remember we get on the back of this beat up pickup truck that's probably about 500,000 miles,
Uh-huh.
and we drove to the bottom of the hill, the wood where there's no more road.
Okay.
We pack our water and food and mass kit, and then we walk for maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours, all the way up.
You're just hiking
up. And when you got there, the whole village, it's like a celebration. Everybody was so happy. We came together. We go into this little place to do mass.
Uh-huh.
It only had like a little roof, right, with made out of leaves and trees and things like that.
Uh-huh.
And you sit there, people just sit there, and you start the mass, and in the middle of the way, the dog, the chickens would walk across while during mass, and it was it's just so beautiful.
So it was you and some other seminarians as well,
and the priest
and
there.
the priests. Okay.
And then you celebrate mass, and then in the evening come, we have dinner with them, and then we walked. The whole village walked all the way about a mile with us to the end of the bottom of the hill, and we say goodbye.
Wow.
And it was so amazing. It was especially amazing for me because I was the only Vietnamese Asian guy that go in that group.
Okay.
And for some reason, all the kids thought I was Bruce Lee. So I was the most popular guy in that group. It's like, Bruce Lee.
You were probably one of the first Asians they've ever seen.
Probably, yeah.
And the only Asian they know is probably Bruce Lee from the movies. Yeah.
So I was a really popular guy. But I love that. I took our youth here when we to the border for missionary trip, and I love that. I just love that so much. Yeah.
Maybe you can organize something with parishioners on a missionary trip.
I will once this year. That's my
days.
dream. But since day one, I always have that dream that we have a connection so we can bring our people. I think what's so beautiful about that, I want to make that available, especially for our young people.
Yes.
Because sometimes I think they grow up always provided for. But when I take them, let's say, to Vietnam, and they look into the eyes of these young people who, for them, school would be a luxury.
Yes.
Food on the table would be a blessing if they have it. And being at Mass is such a blessing. I think they would begin to come to appreciate how absolutely blessed they are. And that's why it's very strong in my heart. I've been talking about this with my staff and my team since day one, that's the dream that I want to take my youth with me from the parish to do those kind of mission.
That would be awesome.
Because it allows us. My grandmother used to say that we're like a frog inside a well. But when we jump out of the well and see the world, we have to see the world. And when you do that, and they begin to see, wow, gosh, I'm so blessed, and if God give us 2 talents and 3 talents, we have to find a way to really use it for the good of others. I want to scream, to my young people, gosh, you're so blessed. Take advantage of it. Study well. Let your faith grow. When I grew up, because of the common situation, there was no faith formation class.
Yeah.
My faith formation class was we go to Mass in the morning, and Dad would teach us the faith.
Uh-huh.
And on the way back, he would talk to us about the faith. And we'll sit at the table and he teach us.
Yes.
And when it's time for confirmation or for First Eucharist, we go to the church, the priest asks us a set of questions, and we get it right, and we get it.
Uh-huh.
I learned from that two things. One is the importance of faith formation, especially in our tender year to study that. I always want to call out to parents, really encourage your children.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, what I learned is I've learned so many theology classes in my life. I read so many books. I am convinced that the most valuable, meaningful lessons I learn in life are those times when I sit in my mom and dad's lap and they teach me this lesson. They teach me how to pray the rosary, teach me how to sing the prayer of St. Francis, make me an instrument of your peace. Teach me those Marian hymns that to this very day, I still sing when I pray privately, the rosary. And I think those are the most beautiful classes. I call on parents, teach your children. Don't just take them to the church, throw them there, and love them, teach them, especially in their tender age, because they will carry it with them for the rest of their lives.